Yeah.
That evening, you got Meg. She's preparing for a date with Mel. And she gets murdered with a knife while taking a shower, having her back sliced open. It was kind of a cool kill, just for a typical knife kill. Not a lot of blood in this movie, Vic. If you really look at it, not a lot of blood. The director said they wanted to keep that to a minimum so they could do other things, and not get it all cut back.
Yep, and they did a good job with that.
Yeah, I guess if you're asking me, would I rather see some over-the-top kills minus the blood, or would I rather see the blood? I'd rather see the over-the-top kills, personally,
Yeah, so as long as they're good kills, then yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the bees, and, we're going to get some more here in a bit. But, Meg's disappearance goes pretty much unnoticed because everybody's doing their thing at night. They're just doing their shit. Well, fucking Meg was supposed to go out on a date with the kid. This part was weird, that Meg was going to... Why was she going to go out with Mel? Like, why is she going to go out with the camp owner? This dude was old, and she actually looked decent. I don't know. It's confusing. Yeah. So, while they're doing whatever, Angela gets approached by Paul, who, again, tries to apologize over, trying to finger bang Judy. But Angela, she actually kind of like comes around and says, she'll meet him later that night at the waterfront after the social. So apparently, Angela's coming around. She's going to want some of that Paul dick. Just like earlier she didn't, but, we'll see what happens. So next we got the 6 young kids that threw sand at Angela. They're taking camping with Counselor Eddie, and when 2 of them asked to go back because they feel sick. They didn't want to lay out in the woods or whatever. They're fucking scared pussies and they're cold. Eddie takes the 2 back to his car and drives back to the camp. But when Eddie comes back, he actually finds the other 4 kids in their sleeping bags. And it's hard. I don't know about you, Vic. When I watched this, it was hard to tell what actually happened here, because they didn't have a lot of gore in the scene. But what happened was they were hacked to bits with Eddie's axe. Which was used to cut wood, but it was just lying on the ground dripping with blood. So somebody hacked up these little kids. Yeah.
It looks like Blake is online.
What's up, Blake?
Blake, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, good sir. Sorry about that.
It's all right. We're heading towards the climax now. So the little kids just got found hacked up by an axe. And so now, we go back to where Mike and Judy are kissing. And Mike hides, when because Mike hides under the bed. Mel comes in to stop and look for Meg, who had been killed in the shower earlier. And so Mel leaves. Mike decides that he better leave because apparently he's scared of pussy. And it's as simple as that. He didn't want to, like, Judy was like, why are you leaving? You just got here. And he's like, I don't want to get caught. And I don't know about you, but any red-blooded male would still be in there. Just saying. So Mel finds Meg's dead body in the shower stall, and of course he still thinks that Ricky is the one doing this shit. So, yeah, he thinks that Ricky killed her to get back at him. So Judy, who had decided to skip the social to be with Mike, goes back to the girls' cabin, and this is where somebody kind of enters the cabin and fucking knocks her out, and then you see whoever it is shove a pillow on her face. And, well, this is implied, but we're pretty sure this is what happened. The killer forces a curling iron somewhere unknown, but I would say that it was right up her pussy. What do you guys think?
It was absolutely. I've seen a cut where they have that scene. I guess for whatever reason it was altered, but it goes up in there and it's all hot and everything. This film was really good about that kind of stuff. About those inventive kind of kills, kind of like Silent Night, Deadly Night, but a little bit more summer camp friendly.
Yes. And that's what we were talking about before you came on, Blake, is that, this movie didn't have a lot of blood, but it didn't need it. Given the choice between the two, a lot of blood or inventive kills, we'll take the inventive kills,
Yeah, absolutely.
So after the social, you get this camp thrown into a panic when Eddie arrives and tells everybody that, the 4 kids died. And Ricky has disappeared because he felt sick after eating shitty food. He overhears the news, and then he gets attacked by Mel because, you know, Mel accuses him of killing Meg and the others. So he beats the shit out of Ricky, and at the time you kind of think Ricky's dead. But Mel stumbles into the camp archery range, and he gets shot in the throat with an arrow by the real killer. And, of course, that brings up Friday the 13th for me. I mean, they cut the scene. You never see it, but basically there's somebody in an archery range, and she gets one, you assume. But, you know, we actually get to see it with Mel. Pretty good kill here, I'd say.
Oh, yeah.
So Ronnie calls the cops and then tells Marie to gather the other counselors to round up the surviving campers to put them in one cabin so they can root out who the killer is. And so as the counselors and the police scour the camp, Angela meets Paul on the beach where, you know, she tells them to get naked. And, of course, Paul's like, hell yeah, he's finally going to get some. And so Ronnie and Marie find the dead, you know, Meg and Mel, while Frank the cop and Gene find Ricky, who's still alive barely. He's all beat up. So Gene, you know, carries the badly beaten Ricky away to a waiting ambulance as Frank radios for backup. So then Ronnie and Susie find Angela nude on the beach, and this is where shit gets insanely creepy and insanely weird. And she's softly singing to herself and clutching a large knife and Paul's severed head in her hands. And Angela was really revealed to be both the killer and a boy, the thought-to-be dead Peter. So basically we get here through flashbacks that's showing that after Martha gained custody of him, she decided to raise Peter as a girl, already having a son, and coming to the conclusion that another boy simply would not do. So it's also implied that Peter/Angela was mentally affected in a negative way by seeing her father sharing a homo embrace with another man. And, you know, the film basically ends with the nude and blood-covered Angela, male genitalia in full view, standing before Susie and Ronnie, letting out this fucking animal sound. It was really weird. Really fucking weird ending, but also one of the most iconic of all time. So, before we get to Blake, I want Vic to give his thoughts on the movie first. Vic, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm alive. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Alright, first of all, I just want to say I absolutely love this movie. It's one of my favorites. The creepy cook guy is my favorite character out of, like, any movie ever. He's just beyond creepy, and he's awesome in this movie. And, like, the boil of water is just, like, it's fun to watch, man. I thought all the kills were pretty cool, even with the lack of gore, but the kills are over the top. So I thought it worked out. And I mean, out of a long list of 80s candy slashers, I put it at the very top. Sure, your Friday 13th, whatever. It's right there with The Burning for me. They're neck and neck, and it's definitely a classic to me. I got it on Blu-ray. It's beautiful. You should get it on Blu-ray if you don't have it. 4 out of 4 for me.
4 out of 4 for you, Vic?
4 out of 4. All
That's
day
what I
long,
thought I
every
heard.
day.
All right, so that means Blake's up to bat now. Blake didn't get a whole lot of chance to talk during the rundown, obviously. So, Blake, my man, you take as long as you want with this.
Oh, it's fine. This one I put right up there with, like Vic said, The Burning. I never have met anyone else that likes The Burning. The Burning was one of my favorites, and I wish, honestly, they would have made sequels. Now, as far as Sleepaway Camp goes, I did not see this one first. The one I saw first was called Teenage Wasteland, which I believe was the third
Part
one.
3. Yeah,
which was really good in itself, and then that got me into looking at the other ones. Now, it might have been the first Sleepaway Camp, but it might have been the second one. On the front of it, there's a girl, some nondescript camp counselor, and she's got a Freddy glove and a damn Jason mask and a chainsaw in her backpack. The cover art on that.
That's part 2.
I was like,
yeah,
that's part 2. Yes, I was like, let me see that one. So I watched them out of order, but. Yeah, I put it right up there with those two, and also put it up there with one you guys may not know called Cutting Class. Cutting Class was an 80s slasher. Yeah, it's got Brad Pitt in it. It's like his first film role. It was right after he did the thing on Freddy's Nightmares. Yeah, got this job in this film as a horror film slasher, so I put it right up there with Cutting Class. It's wonderful. It doesn't need a lot of gore for the creep factor to be there. It's you're cemented in it as soon as the movie starts. You know that it's going to be creepy, and the characters. I mean, honestly, a lot of them I didn't root for. Like, I really didn't like Paul. I felt bad for Ricky getting the shit beat out of him. You know, I felt bad for that. But I don't develop a lot of relationship with liking any of those particular characters. And the Angela thing that freaked me out when I first saw that. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. There's I couldn't believe I was looking at it and almost jealous. like damn, this chick guy thing is ridiculous, but it's really good, and I like it, and you know where my head stands as far as slashers go, but I put this one right up there with Nightmare on Elm Street, so I'd probably go 3.5 out of 4 on it.
All right, man. So, moment of truth, Vic and I actually have talked about this movie a lot off air and through Messenger and things like that. So, I would say coming in today, I've always, had strong feelings on Sleepaway Camp. I've always liked it. I would always put it right there with The Burning, just like Blake said, probably like Vic felt like. But, now that I've watched this movie about 20 times over the last few days, this movie crushes The Burning. It is way, way, way better than The Burning. Blake is right. Some of the characters aren't likable. I mean, the only one that I really like is Ricky, her cousin. I feel for him. And, you feel for Angela because she can fuck with the whole time, but you can't figure out why she's a deaf mute the whole time. Not deaf, but, mute the whole time. But the story's really good, and I think some of the acting's pretty good. I mean, there's some cheesiness to it, of course. There's a few cheesy parts. But overall, I mean, like I was telling Vic, dude screaming when he gets his face melted by the boiling water. Girl screaming at the start whenever there's the boating accident. I mean, there's a lot of really good acting in this. I mean, there's some shitty acting too, but nothing as bad as like The Burning. And to be honest with you, I'd put Sleepaway Camp above The Burning. I would put it above the first Friday the 13th. I would put it above. I'd put it above a lot of slashers, a lot of them, and I would give it 4 out of 4 also. I think this deserves every bit of 4 out of 4, and I can't wait. Next year we'll talk about Sleepaway Camp 2. We decided to kind of do this like we did the Hatchet movies, where we, do one a year, as opposed to doing like back to back to back and trying to do the series. So this was the first Sleepaway Camp, and I think for a first entry, this is right up there with any of the great ones: Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, fucking Halloween. I mean, really, and it amazes me, you guys, that this movie has not been remade. I know there was a Return to Sleepaway Camp in 2008, but it's staggering to me, all the shitty remakes that get remade, and, they haven't done this, which I guess I'm okay with, because they weren't going to make it better.
Yeah, that's just, no matter what the technology, we've seen it come to pass. You can have all the technology in the world, but if the story's lacking and you don't have any feeling for the characters or anything, then you're not going to care. So it loses its meaning.
That boiling skin scene, I want to know what you guys' opinion is. Is that your favorite, kill of the movie, or is it the curling iron, or is it maybe the bees?
Well, you guys go first. I called in late. Y'all go first.
I like the boiling water. I think the boiling water is one of the best kills I've ever. Well, it's not even a kill. It's just fucking vicious, though.
Yeah, you definitely know I feel one. That's definitely my favorite.
Yeah, it has to be. And the effects on it are so good. And Blake's right. You wouldn't get that now. It'd be CGI'd and look shitty.
Absolutely. As far as for me, it's a toss-up between the curling iron and the boiling water, mostly because I wasn't expecting either one of them, but I really, really wasn't expecting the boiling water so early on, because really it occurs kind of early in the film. You've already had the boating accident and all that stuff, by the first, half hour or so, you've already had all that stuff happen, so I didn't expect it. And then the curling iron was just, I was like, whoa, shit.
There's a lot of whoa shit scenes in this movie, and I'm serious. Like,